we're on number 13 of my top 10, or I should say top 15, favorite WrestleMania matches of all time. Not factual list, just a list that I personally admire. These are the matches I personally love the most. Number 15 was Shane McMahon versus Vince McMahon at WrestleMania 17. Number 14 was Chris Jericho defending the World Heavyweight Championship against Edge at WrestleMania 26. Now we have another match that's actually for the World Heavyweight Championship. And that is, in my opinion, one of Batista's best matches. Maybe, in my opinion, his best match. Against one of the all-time greatest, The Undertaker. That's right. It is Batista defending the World Heavyweight Championship against Royal Rumble winner Undertaker. This is sort of basically almost like a dream match. Basically, kind of going back, we had in 2005, Batista won the World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania 21. He beat Triple H 3 times. 3 straight periods. That was the reign during the Reign of Terror. So Batista looked heavily strong. He beat Triple H. And during this time, they expanded the draft through a number of weeks. And on SmackDown, they lost John Cena, who was the WWE champion, because Cena went to Raw with the WWE championship. So SmackDown, they had no champion. So Taylor announced that there was going to be a 6-pack challenge with Undertaker, JBL, Christian, Muhammad Hassan, Chris Benoit, and I'm trying to remember the sorry guys, it was Undertaker, JBL, Chris Benoit, Christian, Muhammad Hassan, and Booker T. That's right, it was Booker T. At the end of it, JBL won. And it was the crown of a new SmackDown champion, but JBL was not awarded the championship. Because Batista was the last pick to be drafted to SmackDown, he became the face of SmackDown for many years. When Cena left, he went on to be the face of Raw. And Batista ended up becoming one of the faces of SmackDown for a while. He held that World Championship, was dominant, but unfortunately, I believe he got injured, and he had to relinquish the title. Yeah, he unfortunately had to relinquish the championship. I believe Edge ended up winning the World Heavyweight Championship. And, Taker then won it back, and the Edge won it. No, wait. No, I'm sorry. I think I'm getting my. I'm stupid. No, Edge and Taker didn't start the feud until 2007. So, yeah, that's right. So, Kurt Angle, I'm an idiot. I apologize. So when Batista was not world champion, Kurt Angle won the world title. He got drafted from Raw to SmackDown, and that's when they had the triple threat match. I mean, with him, Ray, and Orton. Ray won. Rey Mysterio had that terrible world title run. He lost to King Booker, might be the greatest King of the Ring winner of all time, against Booker T. And then he dropped it back to a returning Batista. And then Batista was dominating once again on SmackDown. And during that time, during a Royal Rumble, Undertaker won his very first Royal Rumble, at least in WWE. And the one thing I really loved about this build in particular is the build. And during this time, it was the 3 champions. Now you got 3 champions like WWE Championship, Universal Championship, and now they've included NXT, which I think is a smart move. Yeah, Undertaker win the Rumble, and he never said a word like who he's going to pick. And the champions were John Cena, the WWE Champion. You got Batista, the World Heavyweight Champion, and then you had Bobby Lashley as the ECW Champion. I puked in my mouth a little bit. I apologize for that last one. Bad memories. But Undertaker had 3 choices. And on episode of Raw, Taker was forced to make a decision. And Taker looked at Cena, he looked at Lashley, he looked at Batista, looked at Cena, and then looked right back at Batista and did the throat split, signaling that he wanted Batista. He chokeslammed him after that, and then on No Way Out, I believe it was the next month, Taker Batista versus John Cena and Shawn Michaels. Big tag team match. Batista ended up being down and taking out Undertaker and cost their team the match. And this was basically the start of their basically feud of dominance on SmackDown. Because Undertaker was a SmackDown guy. He was, in my opinion, he was one of the faces of SmackDown, not the face of SmackDown. Well, a lot of people say The Rock, but when I think of SmackDown, I don't immediately think of The Rock. I think of, like, The Undertaker. And so the first match during his whole 2007 feud started at WrestleMania 23. It was streak versus title is what they were building this match to be. And the reports I heard on this story, which I think is very fascinating, that because Taker won the Rumble, Taker thought, and Batista thought, they were going to main event WrestleMania. They were going to main event WrestleMania 23, and they were excited. You know, Batista never main evented WrestleMania, and so this was huge for him, and Taker and Batista were looking forward to it. Until WWE came out to him and said that they're not main eventing. That they were not going to main event, in fact, they were going to be in the middle of the show. And both Taker and Batista were pissed. It was like, this is bullshit. Taker won the Royal Rumble. We should be main eventing. And I take that back. Batista main evented against Triple H in WrestleMania 21. I apologize. But they were pissed. It was like, we deserve to be main event. And basically Taker and Batista agreed, saying, like, let's fucking steal the show. If we don't care for the opener or the middle of the card, we're going to steal the fucking show and prove to everybody in the back that we should have been the main event. And this was like a 15, maybe 20-minute match. It was one of the shorter world title matches you'll see. But it was awesome. And I've never been the biggest mega fan of Batista, but this was by far one of Batista's greatest matches. And this is a match that still people can go back and go, yeah, that was a great match. Now, some people might say Shawn Michaels and, you know, John Cena was probably match of the night, and, you know, that was a great match too, and that was the main event. But my opinion, match of the night was Taker and Batista. It was just two powerhouses from beginning to finish, which was beating the shit out of each other. Yet Batista power slamming Undertaker through the announce table. Taker and Batista hitting their spine busters at choke slams and kicking out. Then you have Batista hit the Batista bomb. He barely got him up and barely hit, but he got him. Batista hit the Batista bomb. And at that point, nobody kicked out Batista bomb, if I remember correctly. Batista bomb during that period was one of the most protected finishers. So Batista hits the Batista bomb, we're thinking it's over. Batista's going to end the streak. He's going to do what guys like Triple H couldn't do, Randy Orton couldn't do, and Ric Flair. Which, by the way, I thought was very ironic that all members of Evolution have fought Undertaker have all failed. So Triple H failed at WrestleMania 17, then you had Randy Orton fail at WrestleMania 21, you had Ric Flair fail at 18. So this was Batista's turn. He was so confident he was the one to beat him. So when he hit the Batista bomb, we thought it was over. And he covers 1, 2, Taker kicks out. And Batista's shocked. He's like, what the fuck? What do I do? So Batista tries to go for another Batista bomb. And I believe Undertaker, he countered it to a tombstone, if I'm not mistaken. He hits the tombstone. 1, 2, 3. Undertaker wins the World Heavyweight Championship. He wins the world title yet again. There's nothing really more I could say. I mean, this was just the start of their feud. A great feud, nevertheless. They had a steel cage match, which I believe ended a draw. They had another match. It was last man standing match at Backlash, which ended a draw. You had these two fight Tapu Tuesday, I think it was, with Batista fighting one by the title. Then you had that Hell in a Cell match, which was basically the slow transition to the Edge and Taker feud. So, this is one of the better feuds they had on SmackDown with two of the biggest names during SmackDown. In my opinion, this was the best match of WrestleMania 23, and these guys knocked it out of the park with, 15 minutes or 20 minutes they had? It was just a back and forth, slugfest. Clash of the Titans, I like to call it. One of Batista's best matches, one of Undertaker's best matches, in my opinion. They stole a show, and they showed everyone that these two big men can go out there and kick ass. And they did exactly that.